Oh my god, this is hell. This is torture. This is the worst. Hallo Leute, ich bin Mary und willkommen auf meinem Kanal. Hello everybody, my name is Mary and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make regular reaction and review videos, so hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video from my channel. I also want to quickly mention my Patreon because on there you're going to find deleted scenes, behind the scenes. I have deleted scenes for season 1 and 2 of Dark, and season 3 is coming very soon. Also, I'm going to be starting The Lord of the Rings pretty soon as well, so early access for that will be available shortly. Today, we are watching the very last episode of Dark. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm so used to saying, hello Leute, ich bin Mary und willkommen auf meinem Kanal on every single one of my Dark videos to welcome my mass of German viewers. It's gonna be hard for me to transition out of watching Dark. I've been doing it non-stop for the last 3 weeks on my channel. It's been a wild journey. We started off as thinking the show was all about a missing boy, Mikkel Nielsen, and Jonas only really traveled through time on the 6th episode of season 1, and he found out that he was the stranger in season 1 episode 10. So we've come a really long way since season 1. I think one of the first things that I said about Dark was that it was similar to Stranger Things because that is what I was reading online and that's how it was being heavily promoted. And I don't blame Netflix for promoting it that way because Stranger Things is a huge asset for Netflix. So if they're gonna try and pull people in, it's gonna be through that audience. So I don't blame them at all. And in the first episode, it did give me Stranger Things vibes because of Eric Obendorf being missing and also Mikkel going missing. But it's definitely much more than that. And it's been such a journey. I'm almost not ready to start this episode. I'm expecting big things. In the last episode, we saw Claudia kill her old self because she's just given up on trusting other people, and I would too. She's now gone rogue. She is her own woman. I definitely don't trust Eva, and I definitely don't trust Adam, like at all. Adam's just pure evil. I don't particularly trust Claudia, but when she killed her alternative self and decided to just go with her own gut feeling, that rebellious move really made me like and trust Claudia more. I've said this in a previous video, but I don't think Claudia is evil. I think if she was bad in any way, she's definitely the lesser evil of everyone. And I think what her main objective is trying to get her daughter back, trying to bring Regina back to life. It was looking like no matter what they do, Regina lives in an endless loop in continuous suffering and pain. And I can kind of understand why her older self, Claudia, told Tonto to kill Regina because they didn't want their daughter to continuously live in suffering. But I think we're going to get some final answers in this very last episode. That's the main thing that I am looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing what Adam does now that he knows that even when he destroys the origin, which was growing in Martha's stomach, life still exists. So for a person that has been trying to kill himself, that has been trying to destroy the world for 66 years, that is gonna drive someone crazy. I wanna know what Adam does next. So I'm gonna jump into this episode and yeah, fingers crossed I get all my answers. Okay, we're seeing Jonas's dad again. The beginning is the end and the end is the beginning. Of course, season 1, episode 1 started with Michael Kahnwald killing himself. Of course it would end with him doing that same act. I think it's very cool that he became an artist. He was living in pain for a lot of his life, but he was an artist and he was able to express his pain in some way.
Aber deine hat kein Ende.
Oh my god, no end?
Sie besteht auf immer fort.
Goes on forever and ever.
Deine Welt und Evas Welt.
Deine Welt
Sie
und
beide hätten
Evas
nie
Welt.
existieren dürfen.
Oh.
Du hast gedacht, dass der Ursprung in der Verbindung der beiden Welten liegt. Aber in Wahrheit liegt er außerhalb der beiden Welten.
Don't tell me there's another world.
Ohne eine dritte Dimension ist nichts vollkommen.
Third dimension?
Eine dritte Welt.
Yeah. course.
Aber stattdessen hat er seine Welt gespalten und zerstört. Und damit unsere beiden Welten erschaffen. Bis du versuchst, den Ursprung zu zerstören. Das ist unendliche Male passiert. Aber das hier, du und ich, geschieht zum ersten Mal.
How does Claudia know all this?
Es ist Zeit, dass du verstehst, wie alles wirklich zusammenhängt.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh. These are your sons. They're really creepy. And nobody likes them. They're murderers, but they're yours.
Dass sie alle jemals lieben.
Oh, here we go.
Dann müssen wir tun, was schon immer geschehen ist. Am Ende werdet ihr immer wieder vor euch selber stehen. Eure beiden Welten hätten niemals existieren dürfen. Du und Eva, ihr hättet niemals existieren dürfen. Ich habe 33 Jahre in beiden Welten nach Antworten gesucht. Versucht, die Puzzleteile zusammenzusetzen. Zu verstehen, wie alles aus dem immer gleichen Stammbaum wieder und wieder geboren werden kann. Bis ich begriffen habe, dass wir nicht alle Teil des Knotens sind.
Ich habe mir lange Zeit gewünscht, dass du der Vater bist.
But he's not?
Sie ist nicht Teil des Knotens. Sie wird leben.
They really did love each other.
Genau wie ihr habe ich Schmerz und Leid gebracht. Wieder und wieder.
Wieder und
damit mein
wieder.
Weg mich heute hier zu dir führen konnte. Alles, was ich getan habe ich für Regina getan.
That has been her motivation the whole
All die
time.
Jahre habe ich im Hängen. Wirklich zusammenhängen. Bis ich verstanden habe, dass unsere beiden Welten aus einer anderen entstanden sind.
Okay.
Ich habe dich belogen. Und Eva. Aber der Knoten musste aufrechterhalten bleiben. Ich musste dafür sorgen, dass ihr beide im Dunkeln bleibt. Dass alle in diesem Knoten im Dunkeln bleiben.
Right. She has been the mastermind this
Alles
whole
muss jetzt
time.
so geschehen, wie es schon immer geschehen ist. In deiner und in ihrer Welt.
And in that world, his eye gets screwed. This room's yellow.
Du bist es gewesen.
Oh. Oh. Ulrich dies in this old world. And Katharina dies in the other world.
Was machst du noch hier? Sie ist tot! Was willst du noch von mir? Ich will das erklären.
Oh my god,
Aber erst
Jesus.
müssen wir hier weg.
He must be so
Was ist
confused.
das?
Wow, love that special effects.
Es gibt einen Weg, wie du nicht zu mir werden musst. Wie all das hier niemals passieren muss. Aber dafür musst du mir vertrauen.
Oh, he has to trust Adam again, of course.
Das Schlupfloch. Es existiert auch hier. Für einen Moment wird die Zeit stillstehen.
Wow.
Du musst Martha holen. Bevor Magnus und Franziska sie holen.
Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Yes! Yes! He did it! He did it! He's with his baby! Oh my god.
Du lebst. Du weißt nicht, wer ich bin.
Wir haben nicht viel Zeit. Wir müssen verhindern, dass es jemals passiert.
Warte! Was soll das heißen?
Now I finally feel that they are on the right path. I just hope that it all works out.
Du und ich. Wir sind der Grund dafür, dass alles so passiert. Immer wieder passiert. Aber wir sind der Fehler.
But we are the mistake.
Der Fehler in der Matrix.
The glitch in the Matrix. Oh, wow.
Was hast du getan?
Eva wants to keep the world and the loop
Das Leben
happening,
ist ein Labyrinth
and Adam
und manche irren bis
has had
zum
enough.
Ende darin herum.
Oh, isn't that nice? Oh. Oh, that's actually really sweet. What?
Martha?
Oh my god. Where is he? Oh my god.
Martha!
Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot imagine a worse hell existing in this fucking world forever with no one around but yourself and your thoughts. Oh my god, just kill these people. Why are they existing? Oh, they better find each other, that's all I'm saying. Oh my god, this is hell. This is torture. This is the worst. Oh my god. This surely cannot be the ending for them. What?
Aber da ist niemand. Da ist doch nur eine Schrammwand.
Okay. Oh, Jonas and Martha.
Was ist denn da?
Da steht ein Mädchen.
Wow.
Scheiße.
Yes. Kiss. Go on.
Ferne Galaxien, beschissene Universum und mich. Mich hat er nie gesehen.
Oh, okay, this is the moment. Why would they be so risky when it's raining so hard?
Ist alles in Ordnung?
He's just standing there.
Was wir wissen, ist ein Tropf. Was wir nicht wissen, ein Ozean.
That's got to have freaked
Dein
him
Vater
out.
liebt dich.
Was hat die gerade gesagt?
Why would you bring the baby in the rain? It can get sick.
Los, komm.
Marek!
Ihr seid zurück.
Die Brücke ist gesperrt. Dein Sohn denkt, er hat ein paar Engel gesehen.
Macht dich nicht lustig.
Some really beautiful moments here.
Wir passen perfekt zusammen.
Oh.
Ich hab nie etwas anderes.
Wow. This is the perfect song to have play for the final montage. The editor for Dark really must have heavily used the particle effect on After Effects, and he or she used it really beautifully. Everything looks magnificent. Wow. Hannah is with Wöller and Peter is finally with...
Sieht viel besser aus.
Du hast uns nie erzählt, was da eigentlich genau passiert ist.
Oh yeah, now we get to know what happened to his eye.
Komm, erzähl.
Aber erzähl. Letzten Sommer ist...
Really? Oh, I
Hat die
like
schon einen
this
Namen?
couple.
Schönen Namen.
Oh, oh my god. All right, right, so that was the last episode of Dark. There is no more speculations. I'm not going to be speculating this part of the discussion. I'm just going to be talking to you about my final thoughts on the entire series. Feels so surreal, but here we go. One of you guys spoiled it in a comment and said you're going to be really happy with the ending and it's going to be really peaceful. Although I do hate that you said that and spoiled it for me, I have to agree. That ending was so peaceful. I was so happy with it. It was sad, but it's the only thing that I could have possibly ever wanted from that entire scenario. Martha and Jonas were just impossible in both worlds. They needed to just not exist because they created this whole incestuous, crazy family time loop that just never ended, and finally that chain was broken through Tannhaus, really. I kind of suspected that it was all kind of related to Tannhaus. In the previous episode, I said that maybe somebody who wanted this whole cycle to begin and never really end, maybe they killed his family because that becomes his motivator for creating the time machine in the 80s. But I mean, that wasn't the case. But Jonas and Martha did have to go back to that point to prevent that painful memory to ever occur, and thus canceling his motivation to even create a time machine in the first place. So I'm really glad we got to see a little bit more into HD Tannhaus's life, his family and everything like that, because that was a huge mystery throughout the seasons. He was always a voice, like he was always narrating or saying something in the background or explaining something to do with time travel or time travel theories, science fiction and whatnot, but we didn't know him too deeply at all. We finally got to see that in this episode, which was great. It was so lovely to see Regina happy and alive without cancer in this world. And we saw all of the characters that weren't somehow related to the Nielsen's having dinner together. And for a really long time, I thought that Tonto was Regina'S father. And then in this episode, we saw Claudia say, you know, I really wish you were the father, but you're not. So she confirmed that Tonto is not Regina's father. And it makes sense because if Tonto was Regina's father, Regina couldn't have lived either because she would have been related to the Nielsens as well. In this universe, in the original world, Hannah, it looks to be happy and completely normal because Ulrich isn't in her life and she's with Wöller, which I thought was really nice. And I thought it was so funny that we still don't know what happens to Wöller's eye because that story was interrupted again, which was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious that Hannah suddenly gets the idea to name their unborn son Jonas just out of the blue. But I thought it was really nice. Jonas can't exist, but the legend of Jonas can exist through Hannah's child who has no relation to the Jonas that we know. And Katharina's still alive in this universe as well. Hopefully in this universe, she's a lot happier and she didn't have to go through all of that pain when she was younger. In this universe, she never actually loses Mikkel because there's no Ulrich, so she wouldn't have traveled back to the 1980s to try and save her son and her husband, and her mum would have never killed her. So amazing, great. And Peter without Charlotte finally gets to be who he truly is. And yeah, I'm happy with this ending. This ending was very peaceful. I'm glad that Jonas and Martha don't have to suffer endlessly through this never-ending loop. And I also thought it was really nice to see Adam and Eve embrace each other and accept their fates of not existing. And they did it together. They were reunited, even though they're both quite screwed up people. I still thought that was really, really nice. For a moment there, I thought that Jonas and Martha go to like a universe where they are just existing and they're isolated. And I just thought, oh my God, they don't deserve this. So I'm so glad that that wasn't their fate. Personally, I would rather not exist than exist and be alone for eternity. Personally, I would choose not existing over dying and not existing over living through everything over and over again. And I think they finally reached that point of realization as well. And the only way they could have reached that point of realization is having gone through everything that they had to go through. That was the only way. And now it finally makes sense why Claudia had to make them go through all of that, because they could have never gotten to that realization without haven't gone through the traumas over and over and over again. And Claudia becomes the hero of the entire series. Claudia's love for her daughter is what prevailed. And I think that was really beautiful because, you know, she has a lot of regrets. As I said, she has a lot of regrets in her life, killing her father, not being a good mother, but she really redeemed herself and she really made things right. So I am so happy for her, and I'm so glad that she became the hero of the season, of the show. I love her, I trust her. She knew what she was doing all along. Adam didn't know Scheiße. Eve didn't know Scheiße. Yeah, go Claudia, love her. I'm gonna miss her. I think out of all of the seasons, I have to say that season 2 was my favorite because it had a lot of big reveals in there for me. There was a lot of big reveals in season 3, but I feel like season 1 really was all about developing the characters, developing the families, shaping the time traveling world that we soon get to see quite a lot of in season 2. Season 2 was all about time traveling, and it was all about familiar connections and discovering these familiar connections. Season 3 was all about closing the chapter and trying to find a solution, and also unveiling many more truths as well, and explaining to us why these characters are the way that they are. I think is a huge theme in season 3. We found out why Katharina's the way she is, why Elisabeth is the way she is, why certain things had to happen the way they did. I feel like all of my questions have been answered besides Wöller's eye. That's like the one thing that wasn't answered, but it's a very, very minor thing. And I'm glad they left it at season 3. I'm so glad, because many shows ruin it by milking the popularity of the show and milking the fans' love for the show and the franchise, and they just let it go on and on for many years when there's no real substance anymore after a certain point. So this did a really good job. It closed all of the chapters really well, and I'm just so happy with it all. I'm so sad as well to be saying goodbye to Dark. I feel like Dark was a huge part of my YouTube goal, which was to upload every single day, originally just for the month of June, but Dark saw me through until July 13, and I'm glad I kept on with it. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break because I'm tired. If you guys saw my community post, daily uploading has taken a toll on my health. I have had sleep paralysis and I just keep forgetting to eat, so I've lost a lot of weight. And so after Dark, I'm just going to try and recover a little bit from that. You'll see a first time ever watching Walking Dead video come out, which was actually an upload from 3 years ago that was blocked, but I changed it around a little bit and I'm re-uploading it now in a few days time. So that'll be next. And that gives me time to just relax. I'm going to be in a documentary, which is really exciting. A lot of the raw footage is going to be on my Patreon. I'm really excited for that because it's talking about Game of Thrones and fiction and things like that. So I'm excited to be doing that and not having to edit myself, sending the footage off to somebody else to edit. And then I'm going to be watching Lord of the Rings, which you guys all know. Stick around if you want to see my first time reacting to Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. Never seen any of the franchises before, so I'm really excited to dive into those. Yeah, I hope you can stick around. I hope to see you in my next video. For the last time, I'm going to be saying goodbye in German. Thank you so much for watching my videos over the last few weeks that I have returned to YouTube. It has been so great, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen!